Hey everybody, back again. Hope you can hear me. You can hear me. Microphone. Um, let's see. We're all go. Kaboom, kawow. Here we are. Um, anyway, hi. I'm Stefan Roost. I'm the founder and CEO of Truflation, and this is where I update the Truflation Nation on progress, activities, workloads, and actually what we've been working on over the last 2 days. Because I do this twice a week, every Tuesday, Thursday. So please sign up, follow us, track us if you're interested in a decentralized Bloomberg and ultimately new types of indexes as real world assets move on chain. And we need to get those tagged, and we open up markets for real world assets to 1.7 billion people that today don't have access to a lot of the capabilities that are available only to select few. Yeah, look, super excited to be here again. It's a lot coming down the channel right now. I gave a monster download. I think it was more than an hour on Tuesday. So I'm going to try and keep it a bit tighter today. I'm going to cover again community questions, some of the questions that you have. We try to take those up front because this is for Truflation Nation. And I spend all my time focused on the Truflation ecosystem and our Truflation Nation. And then I'm going to go into sort of some of the partnerships, some of the products that we're going to be announcing, and then talk about some of the feedback in terms of alpha. What sort of news are we seeing from a macro perspective, and what that could mean in terms of going down into some of the detail. Hope you can hear me well. The mic seems to be going well. Could you please turn up the mic? Okay, I'm hearing you. How's that? Is that better? Hopefully that's better. It's a bit quiet. I'm trying to turn it up. How's that now? Hopefully that's better. Let me know in the chat if you can hear me. It should be working. Let's see. What am I seeing? What are you guys seeing on Riverside? Here I'm using Riverside. It's still got a countdown timer here. That's really weird. But anyway, it should be live now, and you should be seeing something totally different. So I'm going to shut this. No, this window I had up because I wanted to see your comments. And I'm seeing your comments. But the video I'm seeing, are you guys still seeing me, or are you seeing some random room out there? Anyway, YouTube, right? Could you please speak up? Can't really keep up with the Truth Everyday updates, but it's going to be possible to do the staking through ARB network in the near future. Yeah, no, we can't do that right now. Juan Cordoba is asking. No, we can't do it through ARB network. You can do it on Base right now, and you earn 52% APY if you stake on Aerodrome using Truth and WETH wrapped ETH. And you get 52%, so a nice APY over there. But you have to bridge it across, and you can go to the Truflation.com website. I'll just show what that looks like, because that's something we invested and we developed. And I'm just going to show you what that bridge looks like. You go to the governance portal. And here, let me just share this site with you. This is something I can do in real time. Screen, governance, bang, share. So you can see this here. Here you can come and you've got bridge truth. So right here, you can immediately bridge. So I have to change to Ethereum or whatever network you want to be on. I can then just confirm this. I've switched it to Ethereum. You can switch it to whatever network you want, but it generally automatically reminds you. And then you can switch and choose Arbitrum, and it will automatically switch to Arbitrum. It will pop up, ask you to see, switch to Arbitrum. Wallet is now connected. You can see all of that. And then you go and move it to Base, and you can then migrate it across to Base. And then you can put in the amount in here. I can put in 500, and then it will automatically go across the Base, and you don't have any fees, no price impact, and it just migrates across. So super capital efficient. And again, to answer somebody else's question, This is what we use CCIP for. And so you can see how easy that experience is. So why don't I just bridge it now for you so you can actually see that. And you can see what it's really like and how easy it is, right? So you saw how easy it is. I set that up. I'm going to migrate 500 to base, confirm on base. Boom, you can see that it's now asking me to share, approve it. I got to do a spending action. I'm going to approve the spending action. Oh, an internal error was received. Ooh, that's not very good. What was that? Was I on the right network? Yeah, it should work. Approve. Damn. That's not very good. Let's see if I can move it from Ethereum. Wallet connected here. Let me move 500 ETH to base, confirm, and see that moved. And oh well, here we go. Let's see, max, next, estimated project, submitting transaction. So that seems to be working. There's an issue with Arbitrum to base. I'll speak to the devs right away. I'm sure. Can someone reach out to Dogo on our team, and then I'll get that done. I won't do that during this call but we'll just get that fixed right away. But I'm submitting the transaction now. It's taking some time to complete. I think Ethereum's pretty busy around this hour. So it's just taking a bit longer. It's going through Ethereum onto CCIP, requesting that transfer. And you can see it's going to load it. Estimated completion 1 minute, and I can view the transaction. Boom, I view the transaction. You actually get a notification here. It's done, I confirm it. It's a bit more expensive on ETH, so that is done. Submitting, why is it submitting another transaction? Or was that just the approval? And so now I need to have the transaction. View all transactions, MetaMask, validated. Oh, so I just validated the transaction. So now I need to do the transaction, and now it's submitting the actual transaction. Sorry, a bit painful, but I just wanted to share this with you, right? Great, thank you. Nice to see you guys. So you saw the wrong network up there. I can see that's coming up. So anyway, now here you have bridge successful, view transaction on CCIP. So you can then go and see Chainlink CCIP. You can see Chainlink CCIP. You can see the wallet. You can see I can connect my wallet to here and directly do it. But what you have now, it's waiting for the finality. So expected time is usually around 20 minutes for that bridge case. But I've taken it from SourceNet to chain to base, to base, getting onto base, and then you can see the origin address, and it's going to your same destination address. So you should be using a MetaMask of some sort to take it across, so that you have the same wallet address on either side. We will be working on an option where you can actually choose a different destination address. That's coming, and we'll be working on that as well. Yeah, that's how the bridge works. That's how we work with CCIP. That's how we partner with Chainlink on this. And by the way, in addition to this, we also partner with Chainlink by making the indexes available. So if you're on Avalanche and you want the CPI data, you can then get it through Chainlink, one of the node operators, and then be able to draw down on it from Chainlink. Yeah, so that's pretty exciting, and that's how we work with Chainlink. Hopefully, that was a question that came in from Avatar. So hopefully that answers your question. I got 2 in 1. So number 1, I talked about how we can bridge across. But what I really wanted to show you was Aerodrome, right? So you can, I'm going to use my MetaMask, and so you can see here. So I want to provide liquidity, deposit liquidity, fees, how it works. Do I want to look for, I'm going to search address. I search Truf, and here you can see Truf, VAM, the wrapped ETH and Truf. you get 62% APR, right? So you can see that, and you can stake your wrapped ETH and your Truth here, and then you get your respective tokens, your APR, and you get them, by the way, in Arrow. So your rewards here are Arrow tokens. So you're earning, in addition, on the transaction fees, you're earning in Arrow for your Truth. And you just need to bridge them across. I'll check out that Arbitrum bridge issue. I took note, and it should work. I did it just the other day, so I'm constantly testing out products and living and breathing that. But otherwise, on the staking portal, for now, it will always be in Ethereum, unless we see some improvement on the technology. Hope that helps and explains a bit more. Yeah, so that was a question from Avatar. Coin Actuary is asking, Truflation has been undershooting the inflation rate for months now as compared to official figures. Yeah, that's our purpose. We actually are 6 to 12 months ahead of the government, right? So we've always been ahead of forecast. If you look at the trends, we are trending in the same direction that the government is trending, right? And I'll come back to you in a bit later on with some topics and some thoughts around that. But if you enter the app here, US inflation index, look, we're down now. That's the aggregated version. So I want to go to the normal version, US inflation index, bang. I come in here, I load it. Come on, baby, you can load. It's loading. Here you go. You can see we're coming down. We're at 1.72. So that is where we're at, where we've been going towards, and that's ultimately the direction that interest rates, inflation has come down. And you look at the government numbers, it's come down from 3.2 to 3.0. So they're just behind us. We were up at 3. Where were we up at 3? Here you can go. You can see we were up in 3, around the 3 rate. When was this? September 30th last year. So we're more than 6 months. Oh no, we were back up here. You could argue around there. And this was December 1, right? So, oh, we were back up here again. When was that? March 21st. So exactly pretty much 3 months behind. We're now July 31st. So about 3 months back, they were at 3%. We're ahead of them. And what we do is we are much more granular. We have 18 million items versus 80,000 items. We update daily versus monthly. So those are all things that we do. We have 12 categories versus 6 categories. So we break it down more. We have more data sets, and we have a higher frequency rate. And so all of those elements combined is what delivers Truflation, and it will not be the same as the government. We have a report as a customer. You get insights if you sign up to the Pro Edition, even to the Basic Edition. You will get insights ahead of where the government comes out as we we calibrate our calculations back to that of the government. And I'll do an infograph next time in terms of how we do that. I haven't got anything yet. We're working on a visual in terms of how that works because everybody's asking that same question. And if you watch our reports for the last 3 consecutive months, we've been accurate at predicting and calibrating our numbers to match that based on the time lag, the different categories, the realignment of the data. Based on that, we've been managing to hit the metrics on spec. And there was a post that Crypto Hobbyist did around how he leverages that news, that information to try and find alpha and place bets and make 16% APY return on an investment based on the information that we have and we share through the community. And so stay tuned. We'll be bringing that up in the next inflation numbers and sharing that. Is there a published Truflation roadmap? Yes, our roadmap is live. We work live on a roadmap, and we will be publishing this so everybody can see. I will share that right here. Boom. You can see Truflation. We work on GitHub, and we have everything here. You see all of our product roadmap, our general roadmap, all of it's logged in here. I'm going to actually make this available to everybody. I'm sure everybody's going to be doing snapshots. But here you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, where we're at, what's ready and for development. And then you can see over here where its design is ready. So this is all going into coding. You can see what the teams are working on, what they're coding, what the updates are, and done. We've already moved the done. This has been completed. This is already gone. And what we're going to be doing in addition to this is we're going to be opening up to the community just in the sense of transparency. Let me load Discord here. If you aren't on our Discord, go to Truflation Discord because that's where you get a lot of the updates. We're trying to be as transparent as we possibly can, show you how much we're really working on a real time, all the time basis. We have a very sort of high level 50 items that we want to launch. But you can see here, if you go to Truflation, let me share the screen again, because I know you're not seeing it. I have to share window, screen. Let me share the window, share Truflation, share. Oops, you're going to see all. We have here release logs. So we as a team, we see all the release logs. This was just done and shared in show and tell today. So this is now ready so that we can show this to you. Here, what do you see? Updated hero section visuals, 1.2, added pricing and news feeds, tap navigation, initial invite, pricing page was updated, release log 1.3, detailed change log, TSN, detailed change log, landing page was updated, TSN was updated, the statistics page, TSN metrics page. So you can see all the things that we're working on and how we're trying to improve that and make this visible. So you can see in the app, the landing page, the app page, TSN, governance, all of this, 1.5, this will be made available to the community. If you're in our Discord, you can follow all the latest updates and release logs. And we will be publishing, again, further to that, we will be publishing our GitHub roadmap. So you can actually follow and even make suggestions in terms of what we're doing. We'll still work through that, but this we will be open sourcing so everybody can see our general roadmap. At the moment, you can see here, there is still a safe, so it is locked. We've had some issues with people hacking the Discord accounts. We've been having issues around attacks on Truflation. And so what we've been trying to do is protect and ensure we have 2FA for everything. So we're still working through the security elements to make sure everything we do is secure, protected. That is our #1 priority, and cleaning up. But you can see the great thing about our log here is you can see all the contributors, right? So let me zoom in a little bit. Whoops, not on that page. I'll zoom in on this page over here. 1, 2, 3. So we're at 80%. You can see all the different contributors and the different partners. There are no assignees to specific tasks from 36 other people. So there's a community growing, building around Truflation. And so we're super excited about that. Look how many people are being assigned to tasks. So Amba HK is assigned to 6 tasks. You've got Mark, 5 tasks. Michael, 2 tasks. Samuel, 3 tasks. Zolok Trokin, 3 tasks. So you can see all of these people. Brennan, 2 tasks. Frank, 1 task. No assignees, 36 tasks. So they're just working maybe on tasks that aren't in this list that you see right here. So that's how we work. We log everything. We're all decentralized, so we're all managing from different teams, different companies, different groups around the TSN protocol, right? So again, the protocol is standalone, it's on its own, and we're all contributing from different angles. And this is where we source ourselves together, come together, pick up workloads, work on it, and maybe even assign certain tasks to certain individuals. So just to share with you some of the production processes and MO that we are working on in-house. So that was really what we're working on over there. And that's sort of our roadmap. So any questions around that, please continue to ask that. That's what we're working on. If you want sort of a high level diagram or timeline, we can also create that. That's pretty easy for us to create, but all these things are fluid, right? And we're also a bit opportunistic. We're really early on in our development stage, so we don't always have everything set in stone when what happens. But we generally have a very good, clear direction of where we want to go and what we want to do. Obviously, mainnet is really important to us, getting the app chain ready, decentralizing and securing that decentralized Bloomberg across 12 node operators. That's coming. We've got new indexes coming. And so those are just generally the tasks that we have. And as I mentioned, we also are looking to go into 6 new markets this year. So those are generally high levels. We haven't written it down somewhere other than on a spreadsheet somewhere for people to see. Yeah, that's it. Anything else? That's sort of all the community questions. So what I wanted to jump across to is sort of some of the insights and activities that we've been working on. And you can see, as you remember, we've been talking about the Big Mac Index, right? So we have on Truflation, you can see the Big Mac Index. So go to truflation.com. I can share that with you right now here, truflation.com. Let me just, wow, pages are loading much faster. So the team have been working on updating the load speed, and working with Cloudflare to improve that much faster now. So I'm super happy because I demo this a lot and I use it a lot too. And so in here, what did I say? Big Mac, Big Mac. You can see we have a Big Mac index, the UK and the US. So this has been updated, but I think more importantly, oh, it's a bit slow. Here you can see Truflation adjusted. Let me just cross that out. Oh, I can't cross that out. Usually I can cross that out. But you can see over 1 year, the US Big Mac index. I think it's limited, so I am not in as a member. So I need to upgrade and sign that in. I'm in with a different account, so I won't log in right now, but I can immediately sign up and get it. But you can see the price, how the price of a Big Mac has gone from 558 to 570, or just shy of 570, 569 in this year alone, in the last 12 months. But I think more importantly, one thing that we've been working on is trying to aggregate and show. So we've got about another 40, 30 countries coming online for the Big Mac Index. So at the moment, we only have, if you look here, Big Mac, I come in again, Big Mac, I've got UK and the US. So I go to the UK and you've got 2, but they're currently all separate graphs, right? And so here you can see the UK, the Big Mac itself. You can actually see it went up from 419 all the way to 449. So it's gone up, and the UK pound has gone up as well. But I think what we're trying to do is highlight how all of these fit together. So here we're working on a graph that shows how inflation has impacted in aggregate the different prices of Big Mac around the world. So in your local currency, how has the price of a Big Mac evolved and moved up? That identifies largely the fact that how much of the raw materials in a Big Mac are domestic and how much have been imported, right? Because if they're being imported and you pay for raw materials in dollars, then ultimately that does have a price impact, and you can see how that then moves over the course of time in domestic local currencies. And so in Brazil, you've got a 700% price increase. We had to create a whole new scale for Argentina because the price increase in Argentina has been over 120,000%. So we have tracked that. You can see Mexico comes in at about 320%. Funny, all in Latin America, but even Australia. Look at Australia. Australia's seen the price of Big Mac go up some 200% since 2000, right? So, okay, bear in mind, this has been since 2000. So it's still your I mean, that's a huge increase in pricing on Australia. In the US. I mean, everything is really up except if you're in Japan and Switzerland. And by the way, in Switzerland, it's the most expensive source of Big Mac in the world, right? So somebody just sent me this as I shared that with them. So actually having the community come back and share different price feeds is really interesting. But somebody actually just shared this to me, and I wanted to share this with you because I thought it was pretty interesting. Here it was, bang, I'm going to show it. It's loading here. Share this tab. Why? Because Switzerland has, in contrast, had the most expensive source of Big Mac in the world. So you can see this is compared to the US. So if the US dollar and the US has the price of a Big Mac, it's $1, let's say. Everywhere in the world, how does it stack up against the dollar? So in Switzerland, it's 44% more expensive to buy a Big Mac than it is in the US. In the Norway, 26%, and in Euro, across the Euro land, it's about 3%. Everywhere else, it's cheaper. And the cheapest place to get a Big Mac, go to Taiwan, 58%. So anyway, that's sort of to see in contrast. And that's most probably why in Switzerland, the Big Mac hasn't really moved that much in price. And so you can see that, nor in Japan. But anyway, those are signs that we've got working. We'll share a bit more with you once the designs have been finished, and this will be on the website. We'll put this up as a graph as well, just so you can see that. That's sort of really around the Big Mac and what we've been working on in the Big Mac Index. As you all know, and as I've shared in the past, we've been working on an EV index, right? So the EV index is now a document. It's going live. It's a big report. You can find the EV index on our website as well. So you just go to EV index, electric vehicle, I think it's called. Yeah, we gotta make the search a bit easier, but you can then ultimately see, again, EV index has been down. And I'll come back to a little bit why I'm sharing this now and why we're discovering this. But in essence, if you own Bitcoin, you'll be able to buy a lot more EV raw material with your Bitcoin, because Bitcoin's been going up whilst the price of commodities has been going down. How's that been playing out? And here you can see, again, all the raw materials. But I think the biggest raw material, obviously, is the batteries, is lithium. And you can see here how actually lithium correlates highly with the overall EV index, right? So you can see it's very similar. And lithium's been coming down. Copper has been coming down too. You can see how copper has been declining. And there was a story around that. I don't know if I'm talking about this, but I will get back to you on a story around copper. But ultimately, all of these assets and commodities have been coming down. Why? Why is that the case? I think a lot of discussions around that. Are people not buying EVs anymore? What else is consuming copper? Copper, remember, is a great conductor of electric power and energy and used in chipsets. And who is the biggest supplier of copper and who is flooding the market with copper? Copper, China is a big source of copper raw material, and that is coming into the market. They're also exporting a lot of the copper. So maybe they're pushing too much into the market. I don't know, but we will go into that a bit later, and our team are working on some insights around these raw materials. Yeah, so that's really our EV index, but I think more importantly, not only the EV index, check out our industry insights that's coming out. I think it's going to be published imminently. It's right ready. I shared this with you on Tuesday, so I won't go into it too much. We got some amazing insights, amazing graphs, a lot you can read and possibly find some interesting alpha in this, and see where this possibly could go. That's the EV index. And so the other thing I wanted to share with you was, remember we worked with BitsCrunch. So we worked with BitsCrunch around, they're a data provider into the TSN. So all of their data is being made available on TSN. So this decentralized Bloomberg network, you now have unleashed NFT data on the TSN. So if you're looking to work and access and get more work insights into what's happening in the NFT market, they're also I won't say much right now, but we're working on another index, not only using the BitsCrunch data, but we're working with some really big gaming protocols, and we'll be sharing something more in the sort of September timeframe. So stay tuned, watch out, coming soon. We can't do too many big indexes in one go, but just to give you a perspective in terms of what's happening in the indexing space. This is huge, this market, right? Look at the S&P 500. I don't know if you've seen some of the activity that's been going on in the S&P 500 space, but there was a really interesting graph that was posted out there by Koblesi around how important these indexes are. And these indexes, so for example, S&P 500, this is the movement in the last days around S&P 500. So it alone lost $1.1 trillion in market cap. Oh my God. You know, the top seven, the Mag 7, Microsoft, Nvidia, Apple, Google, Amazon, Tesla, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If I include Meta, sorry, I forgot to mention Meta. But you look at them, they combined had 600 billion in market cap drop. And then combined the top 500 companies in here. And by the way, the weighting in this index is skewed towards the top companies. So the bigger your market cap, the bigger the weighting of your position, ultimately leading to a greater pool. Now, just imagine this index dropped 1.1 trillion in market cap, dropped. How big is this pool? And who's getting paid for this, maintaining this index? S&P is a company, look them up. They are being paid in bips for maintaining this index. So the S&P 500 index, they earn, S&P earns a couple of bips on this. Bips, what's it? It's percentage basis points for maintaining this index. So interesting. So just imagine where these indexes go, what the potential is for indexes, especially as they shift from a NASDAQ, 10 to 4 p.m. tradability or 9 to 4 p.m. tradability to a 24/7 tradable product available to everybody around the world, including the 1.7 billion not yet accredited investors that don't have access to financial instruments the way that we are used to it in the West. And so as these open up and become more available and readily available, and I'll share with you a really cool company that's working on something in this space, and to do that. Yeah, we've been talking to a number of companies, as all of you know, on this space, but just opening up some of these assets. I'm just going to quickly share Numun.fi, who are making real world assets yield available, right? And so they're opening up and the ability to trade in real world assets. So I'll share a bit more with you in the future, but just wanted to give you a glimpse of some of the innovation that's happening in this space. You're also seeing other companies really grow in this space and try to bring more innovation to the market. What does that innovation look like? How are they innovating? And here, take a look. Another product that's growing, trading commodities, a DeFi exchange where you can trade commodities. So really interesting what these guys are working on and how they're evolving and trying to bring commodities to market. And you'll see some interesting interactions and plays between these companies and the new types of products that they bring to market. So anyway, that's sort of bit of prospect. But coming back to the maybe more important thing that I wanted to share with you that's already live today, that I just got distracted because I love what we do. But you can see here, I mentioned what we're working on with BitsCrunch. BitsCrunch is a data provider on the Truflation Stream network. And what we're doing with them is trying to evolve and develop this product. So you can see here, we've got the Nifty 50 index. We've developed this with BitsCrunch. So this is now available and you can sort of have a look and it's been going up. So the interesting thing, since July 22nd, it's doubled. So it's gone from 3.8 to 6.6, not quite doubled, but nearly doubled. Notable gainers, ENS is in there, Matrix, Loud Punks, Mint ID, and QBX Founders Key. Notable losers are any of these. So I hope you don't own the losers, and I hope you own some of the gainers. Wow, ENS went up 44%. I think we have a number of ENS tokens. But anyway, you can see here, look, all the portfolio, how it consists, the top 50, and it gets rebalanced. Last rebalancing was on May 6th. Maybe we should do a rebalancing. I thought it was going to happen every day, but we can see the index gets updated every day. But the rebalancing, which means the weighting of the different companies inside, or the different NFTs inside the Nifty 50, that gets changed regularly. But you can read about our documentation, download the methodology, and it will explain everything to you. So here you can just download it. You can read about the methodology, introducing Nifty 50, how it works, how we calculate the market. It's all a bit of a Word document, and you can read about how it's calculated. We should put this in an Excel spreadsheet for you guys so you can just actually see it on the website. Maybe I'll do that and work on that in the next iteration. Yeah, that's our Nifty 50. So that's sort of really our product updates, product release. Just maybe want to come back now to a bit more around less about our products and less about where we're going, but more about macro, what's happening in the planet right now, right? And you noticed last time I shared with you all the earnings that were coming out, right? I was all the whispers, all the companies doing the earnings, and they weren't good. They were not good. It was a bad day. NASDAQ took a hit, and you saw the hit in the S&P 500s. Well, it looked really red, didn't it? And so as that looked red, what are we trying to do now? What does that mean? So you can see NASDAQ tumbles 3% in worst day of the year amid tech earnings rout. So you had, remember we talked about Tesla last Tuesday. They announced their earnings. They missed numbers, although they did hit record REC numbers. So renewable energy certificates that they earned. So they're doing something really good in terms of earning government certificates for using renewable energies. But they missed their earnings numbers, so they didn't hit their sales numbers. Alphabet missed ad revenue targets with YouTube. And so that also missed their numbers, right? And a lot of mega tech companies missed their numbers. Ford, equally, we were talking about EVs. Ford missed their EV numbers as well. So car sales are going down, right? Not only are car sales going down, we also saw real estate sales come down, right? So there were a number of home builders are losing market. So, oops, did you see, can you see this? Am I sharing this tab? Yes, so you can see Ford, they missed their earnings. So a lot of companies are missing their earnings, and that's all obviously resulting in the fact that a lot of the S&P 500 is dropping. And so these are all a part of the 500 S&P 500 companies, right? Not only are you seeing that, the economy is really struggling, right? We have 102,000 new completed houses that are staying unsold, sitting on the builders' lots. So nobody wants to buy. The interest rate's too high, so nobody is buying. At 7% mortgage, 30-year mortgage, do I want to take that commitment on, or do I wait till July 31st? Or do I have to wait till September 18th when the FOMC meets together and announces new interest rates? So those are two dates. Stay aware and attuned to of what is coming up, right? So in the last time, I think I'm not sure I shared, but there's a tool out there that you can go and check, FedWatch. It sort of guesstimates and forecasts what the market is thinking, where interest rates are going. So we'll be showing some interesting announcements and stats around this, trying to capture more real-time AI-based predictions associated with this. So we will help predict this. But you can see right now here, predictions, 6.7% versus 93%. Again, this is a government vehicle. This is announcement on 31st of July. The last time that the FOMC gets together before the summer vacation, when they go away in August. Then on the 18th of September, ooh, there's a greater percentage now. 10% actually believe there's going to be a bigger drop than just a 50 basis points. I am of the 10% camp. I think we'll see in run-up to the election a greater desire to portray a positive market and a stronger economy, because the economy is being impacted. We saw all the revenue misses. We saw, you can see here right now, look at all these revenue misses, right? NASDAQ tumbles, markets coming down, Ford misses earnings. You've got housing on the market, right? So all of these things are compounding. And that's going to put more pressure on the FOMC to realize that we don't want to wait. And Powell has said, I don't want to wait till we hit 2% inflation before dropping interest rates. We are going to drop interest rates before. The question will be, is it 31st of July or 18th of September? If they wait through to the 18th of September, it's got to be a bigger drop to have a bigger impact and make sure that it doesn't incur too much cost. And the other prediction market I like to use, and is super popular, and I have to confess I am an early investor in. I know the founder at Polymarket, really great, energetic, super young, and he's been working on this for many years. So it hasn't happened overnight, but really happy to see the success. Here, let's go have a look at business. Do we have anything on interest rates? Here you go. What's the prediction of a drop in interest rates in July? So here you can see 50 basis points, and you can see no change, 92%. So that's sort of somewhat equal to what we're seeing on the FedWatch. So here it's somewhat equal. Here I can see on the FedWatch in 31st of July, it's down to 6.7%. So not too far off, both very negative, 8% or 7% versus here the 6.7%. But more importantly, I want to have a look at what it's saying around let's go back, bang, bang, bang. We go back to business. Let's have a look in the business section again. How Fed rate cuts this year. Do we have one for August? Fed rate hike. Fed rate hike? I don't think we'll see that. There's nothing around August timeframe. I want to bet on August right now. I don't care about this. How many Fed rate hikes will we see? Some people, 0, okay. You can see here, so I've logged in with the Truflation account, so I don't want to use Truflation is our our wallet to do any betting here. So I'm just canceling that. It's an empty wallet, a new clean wallet. So it's in an incognito browser. Anyway, so yeah, so you can see here, people are expecting 2 rate drops. I think we might hit maybe not 4 drops, but 100 bips drop. So when do we start seeing that? When will that happen? Will we see a 50 bips drop? Bips again, basis points. So 50 bips is about 0.5%. For those of you who don't know. Anyway, so you can just see how this is working and good, another alternative source for prediction markets, as we've been talking about in the past. So that's on that front, right? And so not only are we seeing pressure happening and the economy beginning to start hurting because of these high interest rates, we've seen that in the banking space. We've gone into the debt crisis over there. And so what we've been looking at is Canada. Canada, again, just on July 24th, so yesterday, announced another decrease, right? So the second consecutive month where they've dropped interest rates. So they're bringing it down faster. So they're now already at 50 basis points in 2 consecutive months. So and it says it's reasonable to expect more. So what does that mean? How will that impact the US? We've seen that in Europe. Europe already dropped interest rates about a month ago. Canada now did the same. It's dropped it again. What will Europe be doing? The economies are, Europe is over its election, but there are still national elections that are taking place. And so interesting to see how this will evolve, but interest rates are coming down and will come down. So those 102,000 houses that are waiting on the parking lot or the building lots for people to start purchasing will be waiting until interest rates have dropped. I don't think anybody really is going to be buying something now, but that means there is a new supply. There might be hopefully greater demand when that comes out. So prices obviously are going to be coming down now, but maybe they'll pick up again once interest rates drop. So let's see where that goes and how that ends up. Again, we're not the only people talking about Truflation and what that means, but I think one of the reasons, and I will share with you now a quick video around what Daniel DiMartino had been talking about on Fox Business associated with the BLS, the Bureau of Labor and Statistics, but also general government numbers around inflation, job counts, and other partners. And by the way, we're super proud to be working with the dailyjobcuts.com to provide us, and they are equally a data provider to the Truflation Stream Network, so that we have more data and again more insights into what's how an economy is performing. So here, take a look. I don't know if you can hear me. I hope you can. Future revisions to the fourth quarter of 2023. So go back 6 months, they're still revising their numbers. Their numbers are still coming in. Those are all sorts of numbers, from jobless rates, employment rates, property prices, etc. In a world where we have fast feed APIs and public data published, why does it take so long? Why do we need to go back and edit those? And so here she's talking about that. And she then goes and refers about employment data specifically. behind the ball. So I don't need to say much more, but I just want to fast through this. I mean, it's already, and then she goes and references. So again, just highlighting that next week being July 31st, they should be dropping interest rates. If they do that, that would be a surprise to the market, and that would have a significant impact on the financials. So on the financial market, and definitely have a positive impact. So let's see what the FOMC says when they get together and have their meeting on July 31st. Interesting to see what that looks like. Yeah, so you can see here that was Daniel DiMartino talking about truflation and referencing truflation again as a leading economic indicator, which comes back to Avatar's quest. No, not Avatar. It was blah blah blah. It was Coin Actuary's question. And so really just wanted to share that with you and why that was so important. And hopefully I was sharing the right tab, but here you can see, you heard the video. If you haven't seen it, sorry, check it out. Go to her website and you can see investors look for guidance and Charles on Fox Business. So we will post it in Twitter as well, of course, so you can follow that. But the other thing I thought was really interesting, whilst all these negative news feeds, you know, and stock prices going down and market caps diminishing in crypto as well, crypto prices have been coming down or hovering in a flat line, right? How do we change and what do we need to do to interact with that, right? And I thought one of the really interesting news points was, I'm sure all of you saw Facebook announced their new llama, right? And if you haven't, go check out. So Mark has been talking about the AI llama, and he's talking about open sourcing llama. And anyway, you can search the web. You guys know how to do that. So I'm not going to share that with you. But what I did want to share with you is it's open sourced. So everybody now has access to this, right? So look at, it's got 405, it's 405 billion. It's the biggest thing to open source out there in terms of market capability. So this graph, what Maxime Labon is trying to share is, you know, it's sort of really trying to close the gap between performance and open source. So the green line here is open sourced models, and then over here closed source models, and here is the performance capability associated with the learning units. And you can see GPT-4 is closed source. So OpenAI, which owns GPT-4, is closed source. So OpenAI, so you can see now the whole debate with OpenAI and why is it not closed AI, etc. Now you can see that it was really well visualized here, and then they show all the other AI engines that are available. So you can check this out. I just thought that was really interesting. And not only did I see that that was interesting, you're seeing a big movement into open source, right? So even governments are beginning to open source AI and beginning to say that a software used by a government is paid for by the taxpayer. If it is customized and use taxpayers' money, we should open source that so anybody in the population can either build adapters to it, integrate with it, build applications on top of it, and as a result, let's open source that software. And so Switzerland now requires all government software to be open source. So you're not beholden. And what we saw around Microsoft when it crashes, is there any way to participate? Is there other ways to fix it? Oh no, we have to have open sourced models so you can see the iterations, how many people are working on that software, what iterations has it gone through in terms of security, how many forks has it gone through, how are people contributing to the open source platform and open source software. When Tesla open sourced all of its battery technologies, all of its IP, the whole market thought it was crazy. But today, they're appreciating that. Why? Because everybody can see and anybody can start using it. And you then have ultimately an advantage because you've got other people contributing to that open source code and open source library. There are different licensing arrangements associated with open source. So you have to have a look at it. There's GPU, and there's, GPL, I think there was one. No, it was GPL, Apache licensing, general purpose licensing. Apache is another open source licensing solution. So there are different agreements and ways that you can use open source. It doesn't mean just you can fork it and then go and build it on your own, but then you need to provide all the resources and the support, the maintenance, the integrations, etc., to that software. So those are just things that are happening right now. And yeah, it's just something I wanted to share. And you all know that I've been talking about this being the most exciting time in the planet, and we have so many opportunities. Change is coming. Change is good. As an entrepreneur, you're looking for change because that means that we can participate in and drive change in an environment where there's a lot of uncertainty, and you can see the uncertainty reflected in the movements and volatility associated with the price and the coming down of all of these tech stocks, all of the companies in the cryptocurrencies, where we remarket to market all the time, every single day. We have the opportunity to build in this environment and change. Whilst we build, there's opportunity in the upside in the future. You will get rewarded for building, and we continue to build, as I shared with you in our GitHub documentation and our GitHub our roadmap, etc. So anyway, we want to build, we want to grow with you. We need you to grow. We need you to emphasize and share what we're working on. But we have a strong developer community already building on the Truflation Stream network and working to help decentralize and make this available to a broader user base. We're constantly adding new sources of data, new price feeds. We're constantly building out different types of indexes, and you saw the importance of those indexes. And we're hoping, and I shared with you some of the insights around some of the markets that are being built on chain that will be bringing and taking this index world into the blockchain, and it will grow in the form of synthetics first and faster than it will, and it will get adoption by the 1.7 billion that don't have access to traditional markets. And so how do we make this available, make this permissionless, make this accessible, yet transparent, so that we can see the ledger, we can have documentation around how this works? And that's what we're trying to do at Truflation, at True Labs, with the Truflation Stream network and our ecosystem partners that are contributing to that network. So thanks for your time. This is way longer than last Tuesday, 1 hour and 20 minutes. I'll try and keep these shorter, and I'll get the team to whip me and make sure that the agenda is much shorter and not as long as it is. But hopefully you found that useful. Thanks a lot. Give us your comments. We'll try and bring those questions in. You have the chance now and time now to give us your feedback right away. And I've already addressed some of the questions from Juan Cordoba and from TVS and from Yuda as well. Yes, node operators are coming, and we will be having an announcement very soon with those node operators as we decentralize TSN. Thank you for now. Hope you enjoyed that, and talk to you soon. Bye for now.